Did you know that quite possibly the most overlooked childhood epidemic facing our kids and babies today is birth trauma? Now, don't get me wrong. Thank God for OBGYNs and thank God for interventions that save lives and thank God for C-sections. I'm not here to bash that whole facility and that process, but the fact of the matter is birth trauma is incredibly real and it can be devastating to a child's health and neurological health from the very get-go. If you think about the birth process and how difficult and challenging that is for a mother, well, yeah, think about the baby. A baby has no context or understanding of what's going on. A baby has no defense mechanisms. A baby has no muscle tone or pushback to fight back from what is quite often a physical assault. And again, many cases necessary. But did you know the medical literature tells us, without reservation of doubt, that the average C-section puts upwards of 60 pounds of pulling on a baby's neck, head, and brainstem. The brainstem is ground zero for the fight or flight response. Guess what happens when a baby's nervous system kicks into fight or flight? It affects the immune system, it affects the digestive system, it affects the hormones. But how on earth would that show up on a baby's life? Well, the digestive system, colic, reflux, constipation, ever heard of those? Yeah, my goodness, they are rampant in this community. Immune system starts to tank. Well, why is it? Why would the digestive system and immune system tank when neurology is stressed? Well, think of the fight or flight response. During fight or flight, that system, that response is perfectly appropriate and in many cases necessary in nature, meaning if a bear was chasing me and I'm running for my life, how important is it that I digest breakfast if I'm about to be breakfast? How important is it that I fight an ear infection or a runny nose or an allergy if I'm about to fight a bear? Yeah, again, these things get put on the back burner, but a lot of times they get put on the back burner for this entire child's life. Now we have colic, reflux, constipation, ear infections, asthma, allergies, and the challenge is there's a lot of pill for those symptoms, and now we're dumping more chemical stress into an already stressed out system. Because what do you do with a kid with ear infections? For some unknown reason, according to science and even according to medical literature, we still dump antibiotics into these systems that stresses out that immune system and gut even further. And now we're snowballing into things like anxiety, stress, asthma, allergies, and there's steroids, there's Adderall, there's different drugs we can throw at these things and these kids for the rest of their life. But that's why we have such unfortunate statistics in regards to our kids' health. We have to know exactly what's going on with these kids, and that's why we measure it. Yeah, birth trauma is quite possibly the overlooked childhood epidemic today, and it's things we can avoid. And if it happens, it happens. We totally understand, but get your child checked. Checked by a pediatric chiropractor. We get their ears checked, their teeth checked, their eyes checked. Why on earth are we not checking every single child and baby after that birth process, even when it's phenomenal? Adjustments are very gentle. They're very specific, especially we can compare them to the birth process. Removing those irritations sets your child up for success. It sets their brain up, their neurology up for success for the rest of their life.